Hi, I'm Castellarin, creator of the Core Competency Visual Guide. It's an online resource for teachers to be able to use so they can administer student self-reflections. The online guides consist of 2 parts, 6 books, 1 for each of the core competencies: communication, creative thinker, critical and reflective thinking, personal awareness and responsibility, positive personal and cultural identity, and social responsibility. There is also a 7th book, which is a getting started book for teachers on how to use the visual guides. The online visual guides will give you access to over 100 colored photographs, 60 black and white clip art images, 85 picture storybooks recorded to video, 60 quick review video shorts, and the on-screen worksheet pages. The on-screen worksheet pages can be accessed through a PDF, and there are 2 different versions. One version with writing pages for the older kids, grade 2, 3, and a version without the writing pages set up for grades kindergarten and grade 1. You'll see later when we look at the PDF material, the student self-reflection work booklets, that it's set up with a 3-point scale, a drawing page, and for the older kids, a writing page. One of the nicest features you'll discover with this online resource is that it's set up to be very structured, so once the kids have gone through it once or twice, they know exactly what to expect. The other feature is that it's also very flexible for the teacher. There are pages that can be included or not included. You can design it so that you have it as a timeline of going through the entire program 3 times, once during the fall, once during the winter, and once during the spring. That would mean having to do the program at least twice a week. Or you can design it to just do the program twice for the whole school year. That would be having to do the program once a week with maybe doubling up a couple of times. Or you could run the program just once through the entire year. You're looking at 20 statements, so if you did that once a week, it would take you approximately 20 weeks to complete the program. All right, let's delve into the online resources and take a closer look. For this purpose, let's go into Book 1, Communication. So you'll have access to all 6 books once you're on the website. So each and every one of the books has the same front cover, just we'll say that it's Book 1, Communication here on the bottom. And each and every single book will be set up exactly the same. So we have our title page for communication, we have an adult definition for what communication is, and a student definition. Both are set up with speaker buttons.
Communication is when you give, receive, and share information by talking and listening, or writing and reading. Good communicators listen carefully, speak or write clearly, and respect different opinions. Strong communication skills can help you interact respectfully with others.
And the buttons are there so that if you have grade 2, grade 3 students that are doing this on individual iPads, they can hear what's being read to them. Communication happens to have 4 statements. Social Responsibility Book 6 also has 4 statements. All the rest of the books, the other 4, have only 3 statements. So a total of 20 statements altogether. Again, speaker button for you, tells you what pages they're on. And here's the 4 statements that are set up for communication. Okay, we're on to our first statement. Again, it has the title, gives some information about what timeline you're using, tells you what books are going to be coming up. This button here will just tell you what the statement is.
I am an active listener.
So every single statement will be set up the same way. Title page there first for the statement. Then there'll be 3 books. The reason for 3 books is if you do decide to run through the whole program 3 times in a single year, so I'll be doing it twice a week. I've set up 1 book for fall, 1 book for winter, and 1 book for spring, so that if you're running through it those 3 times, the kids don't have to listen to the same book over and over and over 3 times in a row. Each one comes again with a little speaking piece.
How do you see yourself? Are your behaviors, actions, and words similar to that of a character in the storybook?
And there's information on the books down below. These are all on video. Notice the recommendation to press the little double arrow to enlarge on that. Of course, all of the storybooks are on video recording, so you can hit play. Always hit the enlarge button to make it bigger.
I can hear wonderful things when I really listen.
Then we get to the visual pictures. So for the big smiley face, you might ask your students, do they fit this description? I'm a good listener because I have my eyes watching, my ears listening, my voice quiet, and my body still. And look at these images of kids who are great listeners. And again, a little speaker button to be able to read that portion, and a speaker button down here to ask, how do you see yourself? Are your behaviors, actions, and words similar to that of any of the people in these pictures? The next page has the next images. This is for the standard smiley face. And third page of images with the neutral face. Again, we chose to go neutral and not a sad face, as there's a lot of negativity attached to the sad face. This one says, I am often not listening and will distract others. And we can see pictures of kids distracting others. So how do you see yourself? So we go through those 3 pages of images to ask kids, are you like this? Are your behaviors and actions like this? Or are your behaviors and actions most often like that? We have some video shorts. So some of the kids from my class and neighboring classes have done little tiny quick skits on I'm an active listener. Here's what a smiley face acting would look like. Here's what this kind of face might look like. Here's what this sort of face might look like in actions. These are all short 30-second videos. As followed by finally the page that is in the students' workbooks. So this page is exactly the same as what's in the students' workbook. Some instructions here.
I am an active listener.
And some instructions here.
How do you see yourself? Choose an answer that is honest and best describes you. Only you will be judging your own answer. Use a yellow crayon to color in one of the emoji faces that best describes you.
So the students will have all the same words, all the same pictures, some black and white images here again showing good listener, somebody distracted, somebody distracting others. This page here gives an area for being able to do drawing. Again, it shows an explanation of what each face is.
I get it and can do it on my own.
So the whole program is very structured, but there's the flexibility for the teacher to decide, I'm only going to use this page, I'm only going to use this page, I'm going to use both those pages. And then for the older students, higher level grade 2s or grade 3s, there's also the option of a writing page. So again, the flexibility is that you could use all 3, use only 1, or use 2 out of the 3, up to you entirely. And then we move on to statement 2, which again has exactly the same structure, 3 storybooks, 3 pages of images that match the statement, quick review short videos, the emoji face 3-point scale, the drawing page, the writing page, and on we go to the next statement. At the very end of the book, there's also a summary page. So here's our 4 statements. Here's our 3-point scale matrix, and students could use this page only if the teacher wants that flexibility, or use this page at the end of their program to be able to do a summary. You'll find that when you print out the student booklets, this page is at the back of each one of the core competency books. In addition to the 3 stories that go with each statement, there's also an appendix with some extra books that you can also substitute in. Some of these are higher level books, or they're just extra books. And some of these books, like this one here, I'm like you, you're like me, actually fit for a lot of the core competencies, and you'll find that some books could work for more than one core competency. And these books being used in our online resources are easily obtainable, often from your own school library, public library, local bookstore, or even through some online distributors like Amazon. Along with the books being easily sourced from your local bookstore or library, maybe even your school library, or purchased online, you'll find that in the teacher's guide of how to use, there's a full bibliography of all the books used in the program. You'll find the title, the author, the publisher, publishing date, and even the ISBN number in case you do want to order them. All of the student materials in workbooklet format are supplied to you in PDF format for easy printing off. Once they've been printed off, you can also photocopy them using the pages you want to keep into the program or excluding some pages. There are 6 booklets which have been created: Communication, Creative Thinker, Critical and Reflective Thinking, Personal Awareness and Responsibility, Positive Personal and Cultural Identity, and Social Responsibility. It's within these 6 booklets that you'll find the 20 statements and the worksheets for your students to fill out. So let's dive into one in a little bit more depth. Why don't we stick with communication? So first thing you'll notice with the title Communication and the symbol for communication is our 3-point scale using emoji faces. The happy emoji face, the simple smile emoji face, and the neutral face. And there's a little explanation of which each face stands for. There's a spot on the front cover for the student's name, and you'll notice here this one says Fall Booklet 1. Now it doesn't matter what order you do the booklets in, but I've presented Communication as the first book and Social Responsibility as book number 6, the last book, all the rest in between. But you also notice that it says Fall. That's been done depending on how many times you want to go through the entire program through the year or what time of the year you're presenting which book. So for example, there's a communication for fall, but there's also a communication for winter and also a communication for spring. So really dependent on whether you're going to do the book 3 times during the year or you happen to be doing the communication book in the fall, but maybe the personal awareness and responsibility book by sometime in the winter and possibly the social responsibility book by the springtime. So getting inside the booklet, these 2 pages here will match exactly what you have on the online book creator program. So we see that it says Statement 1, recommends using a yellow crayon or pencil crayon to fill in the emoji face, and it gives the statement. Again, remember this exact page is on the online material, only the online material does have the little voice buttons as well. So the student would choose which face they wish to color in. There's little black and white clip art images. In this case I'm an active listener, so a good listener, someone a bit distracted, and somebody doing the distractions. And the little question that's asked for each statement: how do you see yourself? Choose an answer that's honest and best describes you. Only you will be judging your own answer. The next page in the student workbooklet is also found on the online materials. Again, it matches up with Statement 1, matches up with the same statement, I am an active listener, matches up with the 3-point scale emoji faces. Again, online there'd be the little buttons that you can press that read everything for you. This one here says, how do you see yourself? Draw a picture of yourself being an active listener, or being distracted by others, or of you distracting others. So students can draw a picture down here. Again, this reading part is online with the voice button, so kids can listen to what it's saying if they're working independently, or you as a teacher can press the button online to read it to the whole class. Now this particular version I used for my class, which is a K1 class. I might use it for grade 2s, but there is another printout version as well on PDF format. It's exactly the same, except that it also offers this 3rd page. Again, it's on the online material, but in this booklet, which I designed more for grade 2 and grade 3, there's also the option of writing. So if you have older students or more capable students, they might want to do a written response in addition to a picture or instead of a picture. And it says, how do you see yourself? Write an example of when you were an active listener, or when you were being distracted by others, or write about a time when you were distracting others. So a writing page for the older kids. As you work through this booklet, you'll see it says Statement 2. Here's our next statement. I will work well with others. Emojis, new clip art in black and white. Here's the picture page for I will work well with others. Draw a picture of yourself working well with others or being told what to do or letting others do the work for you. Communication has 4 statements in total, so there we have Statement 3. Again, it's marked as Statement 3. You might notice one other little thing that I've done in order for kids not to get lost and be drawing on the wrong page for the wrong statement is not just putting the statement numbers, but also you'll notice the little pictures have increased with each statement. So this being Statement 3, there's 1, 2, 3 little people with pencils. Back on Statement 1, just 1 person with a pencil. On Statement 2, 2 people with a pencil. So when we're here on Statement 3 for I ask and answer questions, we've got 1, 2, 3 little people, and we can make sure that kids are not accidentally drawing on the wrong page. Communication has 4 statements, whereas the other booklets only have 3. Social responsibility has 4 as well. So here we have our statement number 4. I use my words respectfully when I'm upset. Again, the same little black and white clip art images that you'll see online, same page that you'll see online. This one here as well, same page that you would see online, and if I was working in the booklet for grade 2, 3 or more capable students, I'd also have the writing page to go with each statement. And on this page you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 little characters. There's also a summary page included with each work booklet. Again, as a teacher, you have the flexibility to decide whether you do use this page
or not.
So that's looking at one of our 6 books. Again, all of these books are in PDF format for easy printing out. Here's an example of a student having done Statement 3 in communication. I ask and answer questions. She feels that she's very good at doing that, so she chose the smiley face emoji. And she's done her little color drawgram. Again, she's chosen her smiley face. She's got a picture of herself sitting at her desk with her hand raised, ready to ask and answer questions. And you can see here on the back on her summary page, she's chosen her 4 faces, which actually match the faces that she chose inside her workbook here as well.
This particular book was actually completed by a kindergarten child in my class.
And that's a look at the PDF format for the student core competency self-reflection workbooklets. By having the teacher resources online, it makes presentation quite easy. There's a number of options in which to present it to your class. You could use a TV monitor hooked up through your iPad or your laptop and through an Apple TV or a Roku stick. Or you're using a ceiling projector and a pull-down screen. Or whether you're using a smartboard or interactive whiteboard. Or you could use a class set of iPads and let students who are older or a little more capable do the work at their own pace. Hey guys, so we're on book number 6, Social Responsibility. And we're looking at the first statement. Here's what it says. I treat others in a respectful manner. Right? I treat others kindly. I'll do a story in just a moment. I know we've done this story already, but I don't think we've had a chance to do these other 2 yet. But before I get there, take a look. So this one says, with the big smiley face, and you end up choosing that one, you're saying about yourself, I get along with others even when we disagree. If you choose the smiley face like this, maybe what you're judging yourself as, and you got to be honest, you're judging yourself, nobody else is. I'm not looking to say, oh, you got a right answer or wrong answer. Mom and Dad aren't looking saying, oh, that's good or that's bad. You're just judging yourself. This one would say, I try to be polite, I do, but sometimes I have to tell other people that they are wrong because they think differently than me or they like different things. So in other words, this is saying, I get along and I try to use my words politely, but if you like something different than me, I probably think you're the one who's wrong and I'm the one who's right, because what I like must be right and what you like must be wrong. And if you choose our neutral face, you have to be honest with yourself and you have to say, hey, I know I'm always right. And if others try to disagree and tell me that they're right, well, then I feel I need to argue strongly with them, maybe even yell at them and point out that they are completely wrong. I want to make sure they understand that because they like that and I don't, they're totally wrong. I might yell at them, argue with them, right? And let them know how wrong they are. In other words, you don't treat people respectfully. So those are the three faces. You yell and argue at people because they think differently than you. You sometimes have to tell them how wrong they are because they think differently than you. Or they think differently than you and who cares? You're okay with that. All right, before we get into choosing our smiley face, let's do our picture storybook.
We Don't Hate Our Classmates by Ryan T. Higgins. Penelope Rex was very surprised to find out that all of her classmates were children. So she ate them with barbecue sauce all over herself. And soon Penelope made friends. Found you.
Were they brown? I helped make them.
And Walter the goldfish stares right back at her and licks his lips. Because dinosaurs are delicious.
So, let's find statement 1. And it's going to have these pictures, these little clip art pictures. 3 kids all being friends. This kid sort of saying, no, you might be wrong. This kid yelling. We're going to choose our smiley face. And when we get onto this page, this is your drawing page. Look what it says here. It says, draw a picture of yourself getting along with your friends, even when you disagree with each other or like different things. Or draw a picture of yourself walking away from your friends because you're upset with them. Or draw a picture of you yelling at your friends. Now those 3 choices have to do with your 3 smiley faces. So if you're drawing a picture of you getting along with your friends, even if you like different things, you're probably doing that face. If you're drawing a picture of yourself walking away from your friends because you're upset with them, and sometimes that happens, they want to play a different game than you, that upsets you, then you're probably doing that face if that's the drawing you're doing. Or if you're drawing a picture of yourself yelling at your friends because they like something different or they want to do something different, and instead of walking away or instead of agreeing and saying, okay, it's not what I like, but I'll do that. If you're a person who's going to yell to get your way, then probably you're being honest with yourself and you're doing that one, right? Be honest with yourself. Only you are judging yourself.
So let's take a look at a few timelines for completing the program. If you wanted to go through all 20 statements just once through the entire year, you can set that up to do it once a week, give yourself some weeks off as well, and really fit the program into part of it being in the fall, part of it being in the winter, and part of it being in the spring. We're going to use the 2022-2023 school year as an example. Of course, we have to take in mind a winter break for a couple of weeks and a spring break for a couple of weeks. There's also, of course, statutory holidays and Pro D days. to take into account as well. Most school districts will run a year program at about 37 to 38 weeks. There might be a few that are a little longer. I would choose a day in which you're not going to be interfered with Pro-D days or statutory holidays, so midweek somewhere, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday would probably work best. I've designed it here for once a week and not initiating the program at all in the month of September, so that basically you'd be doing book 1 through October. Let's say we're doing it on a Thursday. Book 2 being started in November. There's 3 statements for that one. Book 3 starting in November and ending in December, leaving a week off for Christmas events, etc., winter concerts and so on. Then of course you've got your winter break. January, giving a couple of weeks off and really starting and this can be basically the fall booklet that you're using. And then here in January, starting with book 4 and calling that, say, the winter booklet cover. Finish book 4 there in February, start book 5 in February. And then leave a couple of weeks before the spring break. Of course, a couple of weeks at spring break. Leave off time here for the Easter break. And starting book 6 here in April. And there are 4 statements for book 6. So that basically you're finished the entire program by mid-May. And you can make use of the fall cover, the winter cover, and the spring cover. Okay, here we're going to look at a timeline doing the entire program of 20 statements right through twice during the school year. So keeping that in mind, you can pretty much run the 20 statements through once a week, but having to double up a couple of times in order to get through the entire program twice. And going through it twice might be to see if children have improved from the beginning of the year to the end of the year in their thoughts of their actions, of their behaviors. You might be doing it as well to be able to have something to go home for a mid-year report card and a end-of-the-year report card. So if I were to start book 1 right at early September, midway through September, we would be doing book 1 through September, finishing book 1 early October. Starting book 2 and finishing it by the end of October. Starting book 3 and doubling up here on a Tuesday and a Thursday just to get book 3 done. Starting book 4 and then again doubling up on a Tuesday and a Thursday to complete book 4. Starting book 5 and finishing book 5 right before the winter break. Coming back from the winter break, starting book 6. Book 6 has 4 statements to it, so doubling up there and completing all 20 statements through once by the end of January. That might fit for a reporting period or for points of progress, paperwork going home. Starting the program a second time through pretty much right away, you would begin book 1 right in February. Book 1, of course, has 4 parts to it, so you're finishing book 1 by the end of February. And then in March, doing book 2, doubling up here to finish book 2 before the spring break. Coming back from the spring break, starting book 3, there and there, finishing book 3, starting book 4 in April, finishing book 4 in May, doubling up a couple of times here for book 5, so you're finishing book 5, starting book 6 here, book 6, book 6, book 6 has 4 statements to it, so finishing book 6 by mid-June. In other words, the first time running through the entire 20 statements and second time running through the entire 20 statements, finishing it for year end. And that would be doing the program twice during the year. Now, of course, the books have been designed with 3 front covers, one for fall, one for winter, and one for spring. And all of the online books have 3 picture storybooks recorded to video, one that could be shown for fall, one that could be shown for winter, and one that could be shown for spring, with the idea of doing the program 3 times all the way through during the entire school year. And again, most school systems, districts will have a 37 to 38 or 39 week-long school year. So planning that, it has to be twice a week. And this is kind of a suggested timeline here. Again, I would do it probably midweek, so a Tuesday and a Thursday, in order to avoid those Mondays where we have Pro D days, statutory holidays. And you have to, again, take into account your spring break and your winter break. So looking at going through book 1 to begin with in mid-September. So book 1 being finished, book 2 starting Tuesdays and Thursdays. There's book 2 finished, book 3 starting, book 3 becomes finished, book 4, and book 4 becomes finished, book 5 becomes finished, and then book 6 with its 4 parts of social responsibility finishing there. So first time through all 20 statements, you're done by mid-November. You can take a little bit of a break, restart the whole program in January when you come back from Christmas break. So here's book 1 with its 4 parts, book 2 being done on Tuesdays and Thursdays, starting book 3 there, moving into February, finishing book 3, starting book 4, starting book 5, starting book 6 at the end of February, and completing all 20 statements through before the spring break. Then giving yourself a bit of a break, and starting in April, we begin book 1 again with its 4 parts, book 2, starting book 3, book 4, book 5, and then book 6 with its 4 parts being completed by mid-June. And that way we can take advantage of doing the program 3 times using the 3 different covers, fall, winter, and spring, and using the 3 different storybook recordings for each statement as well. And that would complete the program 3 times. That might be handy if you're still doing 3 report cards, or if you're doing points of progress and wanting to send things home at 3 different points during the year. And those are our timelines for completing the core competency visual guides for student self-reflection.
And everything you'll need to run this program is right here online at your fingertips. The teacher's guide, all 6 of the core competency books. You click on those, direct link to the book online. And all the PDF student materials. A fall, a winter, and a spring version of all 6 books included, in case you want to do them throughout the year and have the season matching. A suggested version for K and grade 1, maybe grade 2 as well, without the writing page, or again, all 3 seasons worth, but suggested for grade 2 or grade 3 because it does include the writing page. All at your fingertips. The most portable program there can be. You can use it in any classroom, TV, using a projector on a screen, using a smartboard with a projector attached, all right there. Put it on your iPad, put it on your laptop, easy to get to.